There we go. Right, well, if that don't make you feel warm, I don't know what does. It's about minus something outside. And lit the fire in the dining room. I'm on the table. Well, I'm not on the table, but you know what I mean. We'll have a look at building the fence. Right. We're going to build some fences, I think. Just let me have a sip of this. Right. Now, before we start, what I would say is that I know jolly well that I can buy proprietary commercial hour gauge fences. I've got some here, bought them before, Pico, lineside fences, plastic, they're okay. Some more with gates for stations, platforms. Yeah, they're alright. But just recently I have found that here in France the cost of delivery of these items from some companies, not all, but some, has gone up astronomically. I wanted some bits to repair a locomotive. I still want the bits to repair the locomotives. It's just a gear wheel, that's all. Axle and a gear wheel. And that particular company wanted £19 to ship it out to me. That's an envelope, yeah. £19. So it's ridiculous. It takes a while. So I thought I'd go back old school and try and make some, because I've nearly run out of the ones that I bought whilst I was in the UK, and I'm certainly not going back at the moment to buy any more. And delivery is, it takes quite a while nowadays as well because of the manufacturing problems. So I thought I'd try and make my own. Now I can remember when I was a kid that my dad made an island platform for us for the Hornby set that we had. And on this island platform he had two sets of steps which disappeared down onto the basin basically. And he thought that you better have some kind of guardrails going around the outside to stop the pedestrians from falling over the edge. So he made them from matchsticks. So I thought I'd do the same. I'd have a go. You've already seen the video. The one thing I think I will change, or what I do on the video, is the cotton thread that I put through the matchsticks at the end. I think I'd pass it through some wax to begin with to stop it looking so hairy. It looks extremely hairy in close-up, but when you stand there and look at it normally, you can't see the hairs. As soon as you put a camera on it and zoom in, it looks like barbed wire, doesn't it? So anyway, I'm quite happy with them, and this is them. This is them all ready, well, kind of all ready to go on the track, and I'll show you how I did it if you're interested. First off, one of those little matchstick, yeah. This one happens to be, if you take the end off it, about 40, just over 40 mil, which is about 1 3/4 inches in old money. So basically, luckily I have one of these things, which is from a kit of matchstick kit. You know, they give you a load of matchsticks without the end on, and you cut them up using one of these. The great advantage of one of these is that it cuts the match on the angle. It sits in a kind of an angular groove, and so you don't get to squash it like you would do if you were cutting with an ordinary knife. So first off, obviously, take the brown tip off, put it in one of these machines, cut it in two. I'll cut the tip off with the machine as well. So you cut it in two. So you end up with a little bit, where are we? A little bit like that. Yeah. Not exactly huge, is it? That is about 3/4 of an inch long. So we'll drill a hole in the baseboard, we'll shove 1/8 of an inch down it, which gives us 5/8 of an inch high. Right, 1 inch, oh I can't remember, but it doesn't look too bad, yeah. It's about the same height as the proprietary items that you buy if you walk into, you know, OO scale. Right, first thing to do is to give it a bit of a colour wash, yeah. So I mixed up some brown wood colour and a bit of black, and really watered it down to it was just liquid coloured water, and gave it a wash. Soaks in quite nice. Now, the one horrible thing about matches is that if you try and drill them, which you have to do of course, they split. So the next job was to hold these little matchsticks in a pair of pincers. Yeah, just hold them in a pair of pincers and coat the end, or coat the whole thing really, I suppose, as much as you can, in that quick drying cement, quick drying glue, super glue. Right, very thin, very thin super glue, super wicking stuff, okay? So it just soaks in. Not too much, otherwise it ends up with a kind of a glassy surface. And then when you've done that, put it down on a piece of greaseproof paper and just continue doing it. Hopefully it won't stick to the greaseproof paper. Mine didn't, all apart from 2 out of, well, I don't know, 100, which I still have stuck to the greaseproof paper. But you can always peel them off and scrape the paper off, no problem. Right, when that's dry, that'll harden the wood up, matchstick, okay, to enable you to be able to drill it with a very fine drill. It's less than a millimetre, okay. What you've got to do is drill a hole just big enough to get the needle and the thread through, but not too big that it actually splits the wood. So in a little pin vise like this, a handheld thing, down through the wood 3 times. I've done it 3 times. And if you hold the matchstick on a hard surface, like another piece of wood, yeah, it tends to stop the wood on the matchstick from splitting out on the other side. So you've got all these matchsticks with all these holes in them. You could then drill the baseboard and put them in, I suppose, and then thread the wire, thread or whatever you use, cotton wire, thin wire, something out of, yeah, something like we used perhaps on the copper wire perhaps. It has to be painted, doesn't it? Anyway, whatever you're using, you can thread it through whilst they're all on the baseboard if you've got the patience. That way you have to make certain that when you put them in, all the holes are pointing in the same direction. But what I prefer to do is to, what I showed you before, thread them all up so they're all sitting on sufficient enough. You've got to measure how long it is, you know. If each post goes in an inch apart, if you've got 30 of them, you need 30 inches of cotton thread or wire. So if you've got that, that's what I've got wrapped around these little things at the end, you know. And then I can put them in one by one. A little gauge, just to make certain that they're all the same height, okay? So you drill the hole, holes are round generally, aren't they? Matchsticks are square generally. So it's not going to fit exactly, is it? So a little tap with a hammer, will bring it down to more or less all the same height. As long as you've drilled the holes deep enough, of course, which I omitted to do a couple of times upstairs. Anyway, that's, I think that's all you have to do. And then sort of the tops of the matchsticks, of course, and because you've coloured them before you've cut them in two or whatever, they may have to be retouched, okay? And you can put them along your line, by the side of the line, and around a field, or wherever you want them, whatever floats your boat. And yeah, for the price of a box of matches and a bit of my wife's sewing thread, I sort of got a bit of fence. And it does take a bit of time to do, a bit of patience, but, well, interesting, isn't it? For some people. Yeah, that's about it. Hope you're having a nice lockdown. Keep yourself safe, and I'll see you next time with some other stunning advice. If I can think something up. That's about time we started building that canal thing, you know. Might do that, or might go up on the railway again, you never know. Keep you guessing. Right, so bye for now, and keep safe. Bye bye.